The looting, the shooting, the robbing, the fighting, they all have a common denominator, and at what point will we call it out? My name is Amir Odom, and I'm a black man in America, and before we even get into this video, I have to make a point that I do not hate myself, and I do not hate being black. I love who I am, I love my skin color, I love everything about me. And
so the title of the video is Why Most Stereotypes About Black People Are True. Sharing that for context, we have another video from Amir Odom where he's talking about Black people. And it's very interesting how on the conservative end of TikTok and YouTube, we had a lot of conversations that were focused on immigration and why immigration was so bad. And this was primarily focused on Hispanics, even though there's plenty of different people that come here to the United States and are considered immigrants, right? But there was a zoning in on Hispanic immigrants. And so there was the conversation of the criminality, right? Many people saying they commit high crimes, they're doing this and that, they're not paying taxes, and more of a making them look like the villains here, right? So now it seems like this is the process. This is my little conspiracy. It seems like the process is typically immigration, Black people, women. Come at, first immigration, then you come to, Black people, maybe other people of color, right? And then women of all groups, right? Of all different backgrounds. It's kind of the cycle for the people that are aligned with this type of thinking. But let's continue. Let's hear what he says. That is just my little conspiracy theory, and based on also what I've seen in the past with these conversations.
with that being said, as a black man in America, I'm allowed to share my experience and the things that I'm seeing, witnessing, and even the data that's out there. And just because myself or someone else is calling these things out does not mean that they are a self-hating black person, an Uncle Tom or Coon, or whatever it may be. We are allowed to have open and honest conversations about the things that are going on. And with this video, I'm not trying to paint black people in a negative light. No, if the shoe fits it.
I disagree with that, but I cannot confirm or deny his intentions. Only he can tell us that. It doesn't seem like it to me because you're titling the video, Why Most Stereotypes About Black People Are True. And there are some very disgusting stereotypes out there about Black people. Like, do you have a list of all of the stereotypes that are portrayed for Black men and Black women in the United States and throughout the world? Because I need to hear them. I need to hear them and how you're going to say that they're actually true. I really want to hear this. And I also like to hear him as he's talking about Black people. Well, are you also going to talk about other groups? White people, Hispanics, Asians, all of the different subsects. Are you going to talk about how all of their stereotypes are also true? Is that what we're doing? We're just saying that the stereotypes are all right. They're actually all true. Otherwise, I'm going to look at this and say, yeah, you're wanting to do this. You're wanting to show a negative light towards Black people because it's about that time. We've had all the immigration discussions. We're getting that under control. And now let's shift to Black people, especially since a lot of Black people are not attending the protests. So there's no new videos being pushed out of Black people doing anything really. In mass, right? So let's talk about this. But that's just, again, my own conspiracy theory. And of course, this is YouTube. So, you put Black people in the title and stereotypes, I'm sure people are going to watch. And he already has a high following, and that's what people expect of him.
It fits. I am well aware of the sheer amount of successful Black people out there that exist, the Black people who made it out the trenches and made something for themselves. I get you can be Black and successful. I'm not saying you can't. Hell, I grew up without a father. Hello, typical. I've been home.
Okay, unfortunately, yes, that is typical. I did not have the same experience as Amir because I did have a father who married my mom before I was born and before my older brother was born. However, there was a portion of time that he was not in my life as well, and it was due to some bad decisions on his part that affected the family as a whole. My mom, my brother, myself. My brother had a different experience with my dad that was not as positive. But for me, I had more positive experiences with my dad, with some negative as well, of course. But I can't say I've had the full-on experience as a lot of other Black people in this country where the dad is just MIA. They've never known their father walked out. Not the case of, their father was unalive from some unfortunate events. That happens too. But you will see this a lot in the Black community. With this video, I'm responding to it. I'm not going to lie, right, about what I've seen and also different data that I've reviewed. And so starting out, I can't debunk that statement that he's making, and also that's his own personal experience.
Before, I have family in the hood and I have family behind gated communities.
This is also typical. I grew up in the suburbs and I also lived in the hood. So younger years, suburbs, latter years, hood, a little bit of hood. And even when I was in the suburbs, I've had cousins, I had family members that were doing well off and others who were not. And then also my mom comes from the South, and on her side of the family, she has land. She can get land. A lot of my family has land, and so it's very different.
This video is just to highlight the stereotypes that Black people have and how, we always talk about it. We're the minority in this country, yet we make up majority of the crimes. And this isn't to say that white people are...
So you have to also have the discussion about poverty. It's not that we're just committing crimes, like Black people are just committing crimes. When you go to different countries, there's a reason why, as an American, you are going to be you're going to take certain precautions to be more safe. Like if I were to go to India, I would take certain precautions because you do have high poverty and you're going to walk into higher crime rates, especially violence towards women. And so there's certain locations where that is prevalent, and a lot of the time, and this is also backed by data, there's a direct correlation with high poverty, high crime. And it just makes sense. Even if we didn't have the data, it just common sense would tell you people that have a lot to offer, abundance, they're likely not committing crimes that are low crime, but they're maybe committing high crime. We can talk about that later. However, those that are in poverty and they're lacking, well, they're going to try to get as much as they can. Anything that they see, any little opportunity, they're going to take it, and they will likely commit those crimes.
Are perfect, and there aren't white hood people or white ghetto people, or they are just a perfect being. No, this isn't to say that either. I am not saying that all white people are perfect and all Black people are bad. No.
Well, yeah, you can't say that because I'll just say bad baby. We have plenty of examples. So yeah, you can't say that. Although we can get into that later.
However, I will be honest, and what I am going to do is look at the data and the trends, and the data and trends can't be racist. It is what it is. Again, Black people are a minority in this country, but making up majority of the crimes. Not all Black people are bad. Not all Black people are ghetto or hood or loud, but a lot of them are. Again, we're already a minority in this country, but if we look at the data, we look at the trends, we look around us, it's us, the Black folk, that make up majority of at least this scene. Again, I'm not saying white people don't do anything bad or aren't these white collar crimes or whatever, but when it comes to the looting, the shooting, the murdering, the robbing, the stealing, it's Black folk. And again, I'm not trying to be the person that puts races against races, but when the data's there to back it up, at some point we have to be open and talk.
I want to see the data that he's going to present in this video.
About it. In this video, we're going to go through why most of the stereotypes about Black people are true, the trends that we see, and additionally, if there's any reasoning behind this and what we can do to move forward in changing the different behaviors that we see.
Also, I really want him to highlight which stereotypes. What are the specific stereotypes that you are going to talk about? This is a 33-minute video, so I imagine he will bring data and highlight the specific stereotypes and what's been proven about them, and also highlight others as well. I'm hopeful. We'll see.
Give me the other one, man. Give me the other one. Next time I'm crush your bitch ass.
I wasn't snitching.
Next time I'm crush you.
Dude, I wasn't snitching.
Why are you stealing this man's winter coat? Yes, the man's wearing $1,000 winter coat, but that's his prerogative. If he wants to wear a $1,000 winter coat, he can. Why are you taking it upon yourself to take the coat off of someone else's back?